Rain is falling. Thunder echoes across the city skyline. Inside the grand ballroom of the Riverside Hotel, 300 guests stand frozen in silence. The bride, dressed in white, collapses to her knees, hands covering her face. Her makeup runs black down her cheeks. The groom stands at the altar, holding an audio recorder in his hand. His eyes are cold. His jaw is tight. He presses play. A woman's voice fills the room through the speakers. Her voice. Once the wedding is done, remember your share. By next month, I'll have access to his accounts. He will never know. The room erupts in gasps. Someone screams. The bride's mother covers her mouth in horror. The groom doesn't flinch. He doesn't yell. He just stands there, watching her world collapse. And then he turns and walks away. But how did it all begin? Before we continue with this story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're new here, click on the subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Now let's go back to the beginning. His name was Marcus Cole, 34 years old, self-made billionaire, a quiet man who built his fortune from nothing. While other wealthy men threw parties and chased fame, Marcus stayed in the background. He invested in small businesses, supported local communities, and never forgot where he came from. His mother raised him alone after his father left when Marcus was 7. She worked 3 jobs, cleaned houses, sold food on the street, did whatever it took to keep him in school. When Marcus was 16, she got sick. Cancer. They couldn't afford treatment. She died 6 months later in their 1-bedroom apartment. Marcus was there, holding her hand. She made him promise her one thing. Don't become like your father. When you love someone, you stay. You protect them. You honor them. He never forgot those words. By the time Marcus turned 30, he had built a real estate empire that stretched across 5 states. He owned office buildings, apartment complexes, shopping centers. He could have bought anything he wanted. But what he wanted most was simple. A family. Someone to share his life with. Someone who would love him, not his money. That's when he met Vanessa Monroe. She was 28, beautiful, intelligent, and charming. She worked as an event coordinator at a hotel downtown. They met when Marcus attended a charity gala she had organized. He noticed her immediately, not because she was stunning, which she was, but because of the way she moved through the room. Confident, graceful. She made everyone feel important. At the end of the night, he approached her. "You did an incredible job tonight," he said. She smiled. "Thank you. And you are?" "Marcus Cole." She paused, her eyes widening slightly. "The Marcus Cole?" He nodded. She laughed softly. "Well, Mr. Cole, I'm Vanessa, and I'm glad you enjoyed the event." They started dating 3 weeks later. Marcus took things slow. He wanted to be sure. Vanessa seemed perfect. She was kind, attentive, and never asked him for anything. She talked about her family often. Her parents lived in a small house on the edge of the city. Her father was unemployed due to an injury. Her mother worked part-time at a grocery store. Vanessa supported them financially, sending money every month. Marcus admired that. It reminded him of his own mother's strength. 6 months into their relationship, Marcus met Vanessa's family. Her father, Robert, shook his hand firmly. "My daughter speaks highly of you," he said. Her mother, Linda, hugged him warmly. "We're so grateful for how happy you make her." Marcus felt at home with them. They were humble, genuine, and welcoming. He didn't see the cracks. He didn't see the way Vanessa's eyes lingered on his watch, his car, his tailored suit. He didn't see the way her father asked casual questions about his businesses, his investments, his accounts. He didn't see the truth because he was in love. After a year of dating, Marcus proposed. He did it at the same hotel where they first met. He rented out the entire ballroom, filled it with white roses, and hired a string quartet. When Vanessa walked in, she gasped. Marcus got down on one knee. "Vanessa Monroe, you are the light I've been searching for my entire life. Will you marry me?" She cried. She said yes. The room erupted in applause. Marcus felt like the luckiest man alive. They set the wedding date for 6 months later. Vanessa wanted a big wedding, a celebration the whole city would remember. Marcus didn't care about the size, but he wanted her to be happy, so he gave her everything. A designer dress, a 5-tier cake, a live band, 300 guests, the Riverside Hotel's grand ballroom. He spared no expense. But as the wedding day approached, something shifted. Marcus noticed small things. Vanessa was on her phone more often. She became distant, distracted. When he asked if she was okay, she smiled and said, "Just wedding stress, babe. I'm fine." He believed her. He wanted to believe her. 2 nights before the wedding, Marcus couldn't sleep. He decided to go for a drive through the city to clear his head. The streets were quiet. Rain had started to fall, light at first, then heavier. He drove past the old neighborhood where he grew up, past the building where his mother used to sell food. Memories flooded back. He felt her presence, her voice. When you love someone, you stay, you protect them, you honor them. He wanted to honor Vanessa the way his mother had honored him. As he drove through downtown, he noticed a small lounge on the corner. The sign outside read, "The Blue Room." He'd been there once before, years ago. On impulse, he parked across the street and stepped out into the rain. He wasn't planning to go inside. He just needed air. But then he heard voices, laughter, coming from the alley beside the lounge. He stepped closer, staying in the shadows. And that's when he heard her voice, Vanessa's voice. Marcus froze. His heart pounded in his chest. He pressed himself against the brick wall, hidden in the darkness. The rain soaked through his jacket, but he didn't move. He didn't breathe. He just listened. "Once the wedding is done, remember your share," Vanessa said. Her voice was different, sharp, cold, calculated. Nothing like the soft, warm tone she used with him. "By next month, I'll have access to his accounts. He will never know." A man laughed, low and rough. "You sure he'll give you access?" "He already trusts me with everything," Vanessa replied. "He's so in love, he doesn't question anything. By the time he realizes what's happening, it'll be too late." "And what about me?" the man asked. "What do I get out of this?" "Exactly what we agreed on, 30%. Once I transfer the funds, you disappear. Simple." Marcus felt his stomach turn. His legs went weak. He wanted to move, to confront them, to scream, but he couldn't. He was paralyzed by shock, by disbelief, by the crushing weight of betrayal. The man spoke again. "What if he finds out?" "He won't," Vanessa said confidently. "Marcus is too trusting, too naive. He thinks I'm some poor girl who needs rescuing. He has no idea." She laughed, a cold, hollow laugh that stabbed Marcus like a knife. The man spoke again. "And your parents, they in on this?" "Of course," Vanessa said. "They've been playing their parts perfectly. The struggling family, the grateful parents. Marcus ate it up. He loves feeling like a hero." Marcus felt his chest tighten. The air left his lungs. Everything he thought he knew, everything he believed, shattered in that moment. The man said something else, but Marcus couldn't hear it anymore. His ears were ringing, his vision blurred. He stumbled backward away from the alley, away from the voices, away from the truth. He got back into his car and sat there, gripping the steering wheel. His hands were shaking, his mind was racing. He thought about his mother, about the promise he made her, about the life he thought he was building with Vanessa. It was all a lie. Every smile, every kiss, every I love you. A lie. But Marcus didn't cry. He didn't scream. He didn't break down. Instead, he took a deep breath and he made a decision. He would not cancel the wedding. He would not do Vanessa the satisfaction of knowing he knew. He would let her walk down that aisle, believing she had won. And then in front of everyone, he would expose the truth. Not out of anger, not out of revenge, but out of justice. Because the truth had to be told. Marcus drove home in silence. He spent the rest of the night awake, staring at the ceiling, planning his next move. By the time the sun rose, he knew exactly what he had to do. The next day, Marcus acted normal. He smiled when Vanessa called. He reassured her that everything was perfect. He went to the final rehearsal at the hotel. He shook hands with her father. He hugged her mother. He played the role of the loving groom. And inside, his heart was stone. On the morning of the wedding, Marcus woke up early. He put on his tailored black suit, adjusted his tie, and looked at himself in the mirror. He thought about his mother again. When you love someone, you stay. You protect them. You honor them. He wasn't staying with Vanessa, but he was protecting himself, and he was honoring the truth. He arrived at the hotel 2 hours before the ceremony. The ballroom was breathtaking. White flowers everywhere. Crystal chandeliers, gold accents. It looked like a dream. But to Marcus, it felt like a stage for the performance of a lifetime. The guests began to arrive. Friends, family, business associates. Vanessa's parents greeted everyone warmly, playing their roles perfectly. Marcus watched them from a distance, his jaw tight. The man from the alley was there too. Marcus recognized him immediately. He was dressed in a suit, mingling with the guests, pretending to be just another attendee. Marcus made a mental note of where he stood. When the ceremony was about to begin, Marcus stepped outside. He needed a moment. He stood in the rain, letting it wash over him. He thought about walking away, about leaving Vanessa at the altar. But that wasn't enough. She needed to face what she had done, in front of everyone. Marcus returned inside and took his place at the altar. The music started, the doors opened, and Vanessa appeared. She looked stunning. Her white dress flowed behind her like a dream. Her smile was radiant. The guests gasped in admiration. She walked down the aisle, her eyes locked on Marcus. She looked so happy, so confident, so sure of herself. Marcus stared at her, his face expressionless. When she reached the altar, she handed her bouquet to her maid of honor and took Marcus's hands. "You look beautiful," Marcus said quietly. "Thank you," Vanessa whispered, her eyes glistening with fake tears. The officiant cleared his throat and began. "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the union of Marcus Cole and Vanessa Monroe in holy matrimony." The room was silent. Everyone was watching. Marcus let the officiant continue for a few moments. Then he raised his hand. "I'm sorry," Marcus said, his voice calm but firm. "Before we continue, there's something everyone needs to hear." Vanessa's smile faltered. "Marcus, what are you doing?" she whispered. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small audio recorder. He held it up for everyone to see. "I want everyone to know who they're celebrating today," Marcus said. Vanessa's face went pale. "Marcus, don't!" He pressed play. Vanessa's voice filled the room through the speakers. "Once the wedding is done, Remember your share. By next month, I'll have access to his accounts. He will never know." The guests gasped. Vanessa's mother stood up, her hand over her mouth. Vanessa's father looked at Marcus, his face red with anger. The recording continued. "Marcus is too trusting, too naive. He thinks I'm some poor girl who needs rescuing. He has no idea." "And your parents? They in on this?" "Of course. They've been playing their parts perfectly. The struggling family, the grateful parents." Marcus ate it up. He loves feeling like a hero. The room erupted. People were shouting. Someone was crying. Vanessa collapsed to her knees, her hands covering her face. "Marcus, please," she sobbed. "Please let me explain." Marcus looked down at her, his expression cold. "Explain what, Vanessa? How you planned to steal from me? How you used me? How your entire family was part of the con?" Vanessa's father stepped forward. "You have no right to humiliate us like this." Marcus turned to him. "I have every right. You played me, all of you. You pretended to be good people. You pretended to care about me, but all you wanted was my money." The man from the alley tried to slip out the back, but Marcus had already alerted hotel security. 2 guards blocked the exit. "That's him," Marcus said, pointing. "He was part of it too." The man's face went white. Security grabbed him by the arms. The guests were in shock. Some were taking pictures. Some were recording videos. It was chaos. Vanessa was still on her knees, sobbing. "I loved you," she said through her tears. "I really did." Marcus shook his head. "No, you didn't. You loved what I could give you. There's a difference." He turned to the officiant. "The wedding is over." He walked past Vanessa, past her parents, past the man being held by security. The rain was still falling outside. Marcus stood on the steps of the hotel, looking out at the city. He felt a strange sense of peace. It was over. The truth was out, and he was free. But then came the real twist. The part no one saw coming. Not even Vanessa. Watch out for part 2. What would you have done if you were Marcus? Walk away quietly? Expose her? Or something else entirely? Tell us in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories every week. See you in the next one.